Hello, I'm Dr. Kongsak Tanphaichitr. I'm going to talk about self-awareness and mindfulness meditation. Um, basically, I want to tell you a story about a lady I met at JCCA about 15 years ago. She stated that she knew me, but I don't know her. She came to our temple, our Buddhist temple, 15 years earlier, 2 years earlier, and she's still doing this. And that is self-awareness. And she caught the essence of what I was talking about to her for 15 minutes when she came through the pilgrimage tour with the whole group, visiting various temples and religious beliefs. And she must have seen the essence of Buddhism in this self-awareness. So what is this self-awareness? Um, Satya Goenka, the great insight meditation teacher, stated that it's the Buddha's enlightenment, self-awareness. It's the greatest discovery by the Buddha. And it's the gift to mankind by the Buddha. And my teacher, Govind Kemananda, also stated that this self-awareness is the Buddha. It is the roadmap and the treasure, because when you practice this self-awareness, you can reach nirvana through this practice. So why so important? Because human being, basically Luang Por Tien and many meditation teachers would say, we suffer our own thoughts. So because we didn't see our thought conditioned us to do this and that, to serve our ego or self, basically end up with suffering. So we have to practice mindfulness and self-awareness to catch this biased thought or sneaky thought as it arises, so it won't take us into doing bad thing or cause us suffering at the end. So you all heard of monkey trap. Basically, the monkey being lured by what it saw, like a fruit, or other thing would be, for other being like human being, would be concepts and things you love, like iPhone or religious belief, result in craving concepts. So you got stuck in the monkey's trap because you grasped for and did not want to let it go, and you carry this trap everywhere you go. So human being would say to the monkey, "You fool, just let it go, and you can just get your hand out that monkey's trap." But that was the good news. The bad news is that we all did this. That's why you're here. You're born here because of the 5 aggregates of clinging suffering, because you're reborn here and you're trapped in this clinging to these 5 aggregates of your thoughts and concept. Craving and concept brought you here. That's the first noble truth. So this self-awareness basically is the way to get you out. When you talk about mindfulness, there are two in there. Classically, it's mindfulness and self-awareness. Mindfulness is something like self-remembrance, and self-awareness, basically immediate fresh feeling, like you circle your finger. You can put your tip of your fingers together. You can slide a little bit. You can sense this self-awareness, immediate fresh feeling. Open and close your fist. That's self-awareness. Basically, when you talk about mindfulness, in general, cover these two, mindfulness and self-awareness. usually is interpreted as mindfulness is paying attention to the present moment, non-judgmentally, okay, or unbiased perception. Or as my teacher would say, unknowing knowing, knowing without thoughts, basically. It includes self-awareness in there. So mindfulness basically retrieve the phenomena or seize the phenomena because it has a power and swiftness in catching the phenomena for the self-awareness to investigate. So self-awareness is like wisdom to investigate. Like you go to the airport, you go through TSA. You said to go to terminal A or C. So that's like mindfulness that retrieve you over there so that the officer, TSA officer, can investigate you, put you through a scan, X-ray machine, see what you hide in yourself, anything like a weapon or anything like chemical or something bad that you brought it with you. So it's like the wisdom that's see, but it cannot, it is not as swift as mindfulness. So it needs the help of mindfulness to retrieve so that it can investigate this with wisdom. So the Buddha has come up with the method to do called the 4 foundations of mindfulness. It's a way to see your mind clearly. Is to observe oneself at your body and mind, in feeling and mental phenomena. He stated that this 4 foundations of mindfulness is a supreme path that will purify all beings, that one transcend grief, sorrow, lamentation, and overcome anxiety, depression, and suffering. Basically, it will let you see the essential truth or Dharma, or Noble Eightfold Path, or Middle Path, and come to realize, attain Nirvana as a final result, ultimate peace and happiness. So he emphasized that you have to practice in the 4 aspects of life by observe and monitor with perseverance, persevere with self-awareness and mindfulness, in Pali called Atapi Sampachano Satima. Atapi means perseverance or continuous effort. Sampachano is self-awareness, and Satima is mindfulness. So it's work together, mindfulness, self-awareness, with continuous effort at your body to get rid of liking and disliking. Similarly, you practice with continuous effort with mindfulness and self-awareness at your feeling, then at your mind and at mental phenomena, to get rid of liking and disliking. Because liking and disliking is the root for you to generate karma at the contact of 6 sense sphere, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. Contact at this 6 sense sphere, there is a root of generating karma or action, cause you craving concepts and result in a rebirth and many cycle of thoughts, biased thoughts, many times around every single day. Been stated that up to 1,000 times when they investigate how many times you think each day, at least 1,000 times a day, in these biased thoughts. Basically, you start with this technique at the body and observe the body at the body. And various techniques like mindfulness of breathing, mindfulness at the 4 major posture, walking, standing, sitting, laying down. And also the subtle movement is called self-awareness technique, Sampachanya Bappa. The Buddha singled it out because this subtle movement results in self-awareness very pronouncedly. And he singled it out as a self-awareness technique. And then it's categorized into 4 major elements: earth, wind, water, and fire, or solidity, liquidity, vibration, and metabolic heat, and so on. And then the filthiness of this body, 32 parts, different organs, different system, and different parts of your body. It's all filthy that you're hidden there. That's why you have to take bath every day, and so on. And then the 9 charnel state of how you become a corpse and how it decays and so on. But today we emphasize on this self-awareness technique. It's like example, like to be stepping forward or backward, you're aware of it. Looking ahead or sideways, you're aware. Stretching and bending, like we're going to do today, like Luang Por Tien technique. So I will walk you through that. And then when you get dressed, you're aware of it. Or when you're eating, tasting, chewing food, eating, drinking, tasting, chewing, you're aware of it. Or when you urinate, defecate, you're aware of it. You're aware when you walk, when you stand, when you sit, when you go to bed, sleeping, or laying down, or when you wake up, when you talk, when you remain silent. So a subtle movement in every single day. Every subtle movement, you become aware of it. You simply embed your mindfulness at the movement and you gain self-awareness. As I mentioned earlier, you circle your finger, you embed your mindfulness there, then you gain self-awareness. Immediate fresh feeling. It's the bodily contact. It's the largest sense organ, 1.73 square meter. But it cannot sneak like your eyes or your ears. You can only perceive when it comes in contact directly, with no distance between the contact and the feeling. So, or when you open and close your fist or touch the tip of your fingers, you sense the self-awareness. So you start with tilting your right palm up, bring it up, bring it down, you're aware. Tilt your left palm, same way. Bring it down. Slide your right palm, bring it down, turn it down. Left palm, same way. Just be aware of the body movement. No need to know left or right. So simply be aware of it. Don't fixate your eye, your mind, your hand. Simply acknowledge the movement. Don't need to know left or right, and don't count, because just to acknowledge it, the movement, and become aware of it. You embed your mindfulness at the movement, you become aware of it. Mindfulness like self-remembrance, self-recollection, like when you come here from home, you're mindful that so it can be from the past up to the present. You come here to the right direction and got here safely. But self-awareness is immediate, like you're here. You practice self-awareness technique right now. Immediate awareness at this present moment. So practicing like this through the rest of this talk continuously. Don't stop. And you be aware of it. That's how you gain insight with this technique. It's called dynamic meditation of Luang Por Tien. He revived it to make it more natural. It's ancient technique that's been practiced in northeastern Thailand and Laos. And he revived it to make it more natural movement and embed mindfulness and gain self-awareness through this movement. Do with your eye open, look down 1 meter in front of you. So when you close your eyes sometimes, you get trapped in the thoughts. So this way you get out of the thoughts and see what's going on. But look down, just 1 meter in front of you. So by doing this, you gain insight that you're aware of your body externally through the hand movement. Internally, you're in a sitting posture. And basically, you see the physical phenomena arise and cease all the time, like moving your hands, stopping, starting, moving, stopping. It's a changing in physical phenomena that you can observe. So the body is there for you to acknowledge, to become mindfully aware of. By doing this, you can see there's no person, no being, no self in there. It's not yours or mine, constantly changing in this physical aspect of life. So basically, you practice at the form of the five aggregates of clinging. Form, feeling, perception, thought formation, and consciousness. So you're practicing at this body or at the form. By doing this, acknowledge there's no person, no being, no self. You free yourself from craving and concepts, not cling to your body or anything in this world. That's how you free yourself from suffering, through being aware of your body at your body. Next, as you practice this hand movement, keep doing it. You observe your feeling. After you move for a while, you get tired, fatigued. You can feel the comfort or discomfort. You may change your position when you become discomfort, and so on. See whether you feel happy or unhappy, whether it depends on five sense sphere, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, body, or sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, for such feeling to arise, for you to like or dislike, or arise spontaneous at your mind, not depend on those five sense spheres. You can see the fleeting nature of such feeling. Feeling is there, you can sense externally, like comfort, discomfort, or internally as happiness, unhappiness. Fleeting nature of such feeling, arising and ceasing all the time. So feeling is there for you to acknowledge, become mindful aware. You can see there's no person, no being, no self in such feeling. It free you from craving and concepts, not clinging to your feeling or anything in this world. That's how you free yourself from suffering, from be aware of your feeling at your feeling. Similarly, you can observe your mind. See what's the nature of your mind this moment. You're full of desire or void of desire. Filled with anger or void of anger. Is your mind filled with delusion or void of delusion? Your mind manic or depressed? Is your mind reaches supreme or not reaching supreme? Or better than the last mind moment? Or worse than the last mind moment? Is your mind reach a deep jhana, deep mental absorption, or not reaching mental absorption? Your mind steady or unsteady? Your mind liberated or not liberated? So in many pairs that you can see the difference of your mind. You can see the fleeting nature of your mind constantly moving around, as if it has a mind of its own life there, because it's not follow your command. See the arising and ceasing of your mind. And you can see the nature of your mind that I mentioned earlier. And you can see minds there that you can acknowledge, observe, be mindfully aware of your mind. You see no person, no being, no self in there. It will free you from craving and concepts, not clinging to your mind, anything in this world. That's how you free yourself from suffering, through being aware of your mind at your mind. Then you observe the fourth aspect, mental phenomena. As we observe, you can see how your eye interact with sight, you interact with sound as you hear my talk, nose with the smell, tongue with the taste, body with the physical contact and mind with the thoughts. It gives rise to eye consciousness when you see me move my hand. Ear consciousness when you hear my voice. When I stop talking, it dies down, it ceases. Nasal consciousness when you smell. Tongue consciousness with the taste. Body consciousness with the touch. When you move and stop moving, it's called, you can see the body consciousness arise and cease. And then mental consciousness with the thoughts. You can see the changing nature all the time. So phenomena is there you can acknowledge. Be mindfully aware of such phenomena. There's no person, no being, no self in there. You free you from craving concepts, not clinging to your mind or anything in this world. That's how you free yourself from suffering, through being aware of your mind, your mind. Then you observe the fourth foundation. That's the fourth foundation. You see the consciousness arising and ceasing all the time. It's a mental phenomenon. So we practice to this fourth foundation. So reflecting the five aggregates or five group of existence of clinging that we all have. It's a function of body or form. You practice through the body. Feeling, we practice on the feeling. Thought formation, we practice on the phenomena that arise and cease. In mind, we practice. In consciousness, we practice on the mind. So the perception, basically, is this self-awareness and mindfulness. Pure perception is this sati, or mindfulness, and self-awareness, and sampajanya. So by practicing this, you observe your body and mind, or your life as it is, and mental activities of the feeling and mental phenomena as it arises and ceases. So you can see the true nature of things. That things are always changing all the time. It's impermanent. It's fleeting nature, imperfect, constantly changing. You cannot make it stand still in this present moment as it is. Constantly changing, moving, arising, ceasing all the time. It's not self in nature. There's no true permanent self. It's selfless in nature. So these are the tilakkhana, or the three universal characteristics, nature of existence. Three marks of existence: impermanence, imperfection, and selflessness. It's not worth clinging to. Whenever you cling to it, it constantly gives you problem because you cannot stop it. It's against your will. You cannot do it. You have to flow with it. If you won't accept it, you end up with more suffering. Because you're constantly craving for more, it ends up constantly changing. It doesn't follow your command. Even your mind you cannot control. But you can see how it moves around and let it. And when you see it, it dies down in the biased thought, not indulging your thoughts. You see the sneaky thought, let it pass, but don't indulge in the sneaky thought. Simply see the thought as it is, not becoming your thoughts. So let it pass as it came by or passed through. By doing so, you can see the true nature of things. It's not under your control. Impermanent, imperfect and selfless in nature. You become disenchanted, discern. Your mind will liberate by itself. That's how you practice these four foundations of mindfulness, and you come to see the true nature of yourself, of life, and free you from suffering, free you from sneaky thoughts, biased thoughts, and free yourself from suffering. See, thing as it is, when the sixth sense sphere function come in contact, sight, sound, smell, taste, and thoughts. Not create any bias, liking nor disliking, but equanimous mind, maintaining equanimity, equanimous mind, the true nature of your mind. Free yourself from suffering in such practice. So that's the essence of what it is, why self-awareness is so powerful and useful, because it's a wisdom to transcend grief, sorrow, lamentation, overcoming anxiety, depression, suffering, not being trapped in your biased thought, which causes suffering. So you can do this in your daily life through informal practice, like when you're sweeping the floor, mopping, vacuuming, washing the dishes, or cooking, or driving, when you're aware of things going around. With self-awareness, through this body movement, it gives you wisdom to see the true nature of things, not being trapped in your own bias. Free you from biased thought and free yourself from suffering. So that's the sense of what one needs to practice through this full foundation and through this self-awareness and dynamic meditation to gain the freedom of your life, living a free life, not cling to anything that will taint your mind. Become equanimous mind again. Thank you for your attention. So you can practice this 24/7 by doing this. Formally, you can do it for half an hour each day, but informally you can practice all day long. As long as you're awake and you move, embed your mindfulness there, and you gain self-awareness and gain the wisdom in seeing the true nature of things 24/7, and free yourself from suffering, not being trapped in the biased thoughts. Constantly moving, practicing this informally. You can do while you stand, you can do the same way with your hand movement when you stand. When you walk, just walk normally. You don't do the hand movement. Just walk normally, like when you're moving, when you walk, but don't need to embed your mind, don't need to fixate your mind, your feet. Simply acknowledge the movement of your leg. And that way you gain self-awareness. And when you sleep, you do the same thing in bed, hand movement. So in the four major postures, you can do this hand movement in similar fashion. So that's a sense of what you need to know and need to keep on practicing. Thank you for your attention.